Hey, I'm really super excited today because we're doing the Zest TV episode right here in downtown New Haven at the new classic French Creperie down in Orange Street, New Haven. It's Yolande's Bistro and Creperie, and I'm just going to go in there and talk to the owners and do a video episode right in here. So this is Zest, and you're watching Zest TV, the show that brings you a dash of passion to the perfect blend of ingredients for your success in business and in life. We'll see you inside. This is going to be a super awesome episode of Zest TV. This is an episode that we actually have a food segment because we're at a restaurant here in New Haven. The reason I like to do this food segments is because not only because I get to be in the kitchen, but I also wanted to feature the business side of the food industry. The connection between me and food is not because I love to eat, but because I've also had experience building my own food business. In the past, I've had a small catering business that catered to my culture food, which is Malaysia. So I had a small community that I catered to. What I found out is that, I connect with the business and also the fact that I love doing it because it's my passion. So that's why I like to do the food segments, not only because, I love to eat, but and also because I wanted to share what all the small business owners, the restaurateurs are doing in their business that could probably help other people who are doing the same thing, because I think I've not seen much of this kind of education or training out there on videos. This is, what I love to do. So I like to go out there and meet the people who are in the front line building the business, the restaurateurs. So today I actually have, we're here in New Haven. We're talking to Yolande's Bistro. And right now here with me, I have Yolande Lacan, the restaurateur and also the owner of Yolande's Bistro and Creperie right here in New Haven, Connecticut. Welcome, Yolande, and thank you for having us here.
Thank you, Zeph. It's so much fun to have you here with us.
I love talking to people in the food business because I've been in the past, a couple of years ago, I started my own mini catering business. Also, I did a lot of cupcakes. I did very traditional culture, Malaysian food. So I had my own following, and I know how hard it is to actually, stand there for hours in the kitchen, but it's all about food. What makes it really worthwhile is that passion because I love doing it, I love to see the smiling faces, I enjoy the rewards when they say, oh, it's super awesome. So I know how it is, when it comes to food business, it's all about the passion. So maybe you can tell me a little bit more how you actually came about with this passion.
I think that every decision you make from the time you're a child builds on your experiences in the future. And I think that I had a magical childhood.
Wow.
Growing up in the hotel industry, in the food industry. As magical as it was hard work. And there was never any doubt that if you don't have passion, it doesn't work. So over the years, everything has been building and growing and getting me to this point. And you're absolutely right. It's passion. It's making sure that the plates go out the way you envision them going out. It's stopping and chatting with the guests and making sure that you made them happy. As you were discussing at some other point, you have to have passion and love what you're doing. Otherwise, 6 and 7 days a week, 12 and 14 hours a day, it's just not worth it. So it's got to be fun along the way.
Absolutely.
That was September 6th or 7th. September 21st, we signed a lease. September 23rd, I had an impromptu gathering of focus group friends from the hotel world, from my college days. My family came up from Florida. My friends from the Grove, my friends from Toastmasters, my acquaintances and friends from the French Club. We all gathered and we talked about paint colors.
Wow.
And we talked about menu fonts and menu items because the menu was 90% done. I had already had a business plan because I knew what I wanted to do. I had to tweak it because this was a different size, but I had everything ready to go.
So I heard you actually had a unique way of renaming your restaurant. It's pretty exciting. Actually, I read it on your blog and I was like, really? Is that how she really named her restaurant?
That's
In that
really
quick,
how I named my
quick
restaurant.
New Haven minute, right? So
Yeah.
tell us about that story. That's awesome.
The naming of the restaurant is rather funny. We had that brunch. I had about 35 people here in the building. We slapped up some color samples on the walls. And everybody said, so Yolande, what's going to be the name of the restaurant? I said, well, I have a couple of names in mind. And here's what they are. What do you think? And unanimously, 35 people, we don't like that.
How long did it take you to think about that name?
Well, it's a process. You
Right.
throw out a lot of names, you brainstorm, you try to find the right name.
Right.
But all of them, I don't like that name. Okay, fine. You come up with a name. So in their little focus groups, they all started chattering, and the folks from the French club came to me first.
Okay.
And they pulled me aside and they said, we have a couple of spelling errors on your menu. I said, yep, I know. My mother's already pointed them out. Thank you. And we really like this, and we're not crazy about that. And did you think about this? And oh, by the way, we think the name of the restaurant should be Yolande's. And I said, in my head, yep, thank you. Now go back and sit down. I didn't say that out loud, but in my head, that's exactly what went through my head.
Right.
And I said, oh, that's very sweet. That's not going to happen, but thank you. And then my hotel friends came around the corner, and they said, Lacan, Yolande's, Chez Yolande. We absolutely think it needs to be that. And these are people I've known a long time. And I looked at them and I said, you're nuts. It's not going to happen. And then I went and was chatting with the folks at the bar, which were some of my friends from Toastmasters and from the Grove. And they all came up and said the same thing. And I said, what is going on? And I shipped my mother and sister back to Florida and my best friend back to New York, and everybody dispersed for the day. And I got home and I started putting notes together of everything that had gone on that day. We came back to the name, and it was Sunday night. And I needed to apply for my liquor license first thing Monday morning. So I had to have a business name.
Right.
And I wasn't happy with anything that had come up. And when I was a little girl, I was probably 8, 9, or 10 years old, my father, Papa, had put a menu item on his menu named after my sister Jacqueline. Like any good little girl. What about me? I'm older. I'm the older one.
You forgot about me.
Absolutely. And Papa said to me, Yolande, your mother and I did not make your life easy when we gave you your name here in the U.S.
Right.
How many times has anybody said your name correctly on the first go-round? Think of your first day of school. Think of all of your teachers and your new friends. Does anybody say your name correctly? No, Papa. And he said, you will never have anything named after you in the United States. 30 years later, 35 years later, that's still going through my head. So when everybody said that, I said, there's just no way. And I got into bed. It was 11:30 or so, and I still didn't have a name for the restaurant. And I said, forget it. I'm going to bed. Whatever happens first thing in the morning, that'll be the name of the restaurant. It'll be meant to be. My phone dings at me at about 7:15 in the morning. And I turn over in bed, and I look at it, and it's a text from my sister, Jacqueline. In carpool. Yolande's is the name. We all agree. I wasn't awake yet, and I looked at it and I said, first thing in the morning, whatever happens, it's meant to be. First thing in the morning, Yolande's Bistro and Creperie.
Wow.
So that's really how it was named.
Wow. I mean, isn't it awesome sometimes when you think about it too much, it doesn't happen, and then you just put it out there and speak to the universe and it comes to you.
It does.
Being new in the business, we all know we have to do marketing on a day-to-day basis, right? And in the 21st century, even though you have a storefront, a restaurant like yours, you actually have to have a presence online too. So among the things that are famous right now is like social media marketing, blogging. Maybe you can share a little bit more about what you have done in your business to market Yolande's Bistro and Creperie. What have you done online and offline? Because I know it's not only online. It has to have an offline community that supports you too. So maybe you can share a little bit more about what you have done and has worked good or effectively for you.
I read somewhere recently that you should have 10 irons in the fire in regards to different ways of marketing at any given time your business. Never going to happen for me. But having said that, I do think that I take a look at every type of marketing that there is out there. For Yolande's Bistro and Creperie, we have concentrated on the Facebook. We have a web page up and running. It's not as perfect as I would like it to be, but it's up and running. I do a little bit of Twitter and I do a little bit of Instagram. There is a Pinterest page for the restaurant, which I've done nothing with. I don't have the time to keep up with it. And there's a Foursquare, which I've done nothing with. We've got them out there and going, but we haven't really done anything with them. I think networking and PR really are your best avenues because it's all word of mouth. Having said that, how do you reach them becomes another issue. So I think the most consistent place that we are active is our Facebook page. We've posted menus, and boy, was that a treat, because that's not an easy thing to do on Facebook. Mm-hmm. We've posted our hours, we've posted our information there, and we post all of our specials and our goings on. The web page has all of that information as well, but it doesn't have the specials, and it's not as timely. I cross-promote my blog at theinnkeepersdaughter.com with yolandesbistro.com, as well as both of those on Facebook. I try to remember that when I'm taking pictures of dishes to do it on Instagram, because if I do it on Instagram, it'll push out through Twitter and Instagram at the same time. But because my Facebook page is a business page and not my personal, it won't push out that way. So that's 2 steps. And trying to cut down on those steps is always very important when, as I said, we're doing 6 other things at the same time. Mm-hmm. So I think that those are all avenues that we're working on. I am trying to stress the public relations more than anything else, because I think you get more bang for the buck on it. We've had some lovely articles printed that have done a lot for us. Traditional advertising has not done a whole lot. Traditional print advertising has not done a whole lot for me. I am working with the On9 Merchants Association, 9 Square Merchants Association, at doing some cooperative advertising. And we have a campaign going on now through the middle of March with the new subscription television over the computer, Tivoli, for the Yale undergrads. And we're co-oping that marketing piece with 8 other merchants here in the 9th Square. Restaurants, salons, boutiques, jewelry stores, a little bit of everything. We're looking forward to doing more of those type of cooperative advertising, because those glossy magazines and radio is very expensive, and the small business person can't afford to do it on their own. And then the other thing that is very controversial and not at all something that I enjoy doing, but in today's market is kind of necessary, is the Groupon Living Social, those buy special deals. For the merchants using them, it really is about exposure and not overusing them, because they don't make you any money. So you have to pick and choose and decide where you want that exposure, because unfortunately it's far more, you get the attention of far more diverse, larger groups of people than an ad in the local newspaper will ever give you.
Yolanda, I really like what you said earlier about, how you actually are using social media marketing. Yes, it's a lot of social media platforms, social networking platforms, Pinterest, Google Plus, you name it all. I mean, it can be overwhelming, right? And you need almost a different team to do this, right? But you're right about having to do all that. At least do something that works for you. And I'm glad that you said Facebook works for you, because I think many restaurants find that Facebook is the platform that they can actually maintain easily because everyone's on Facebook. And I also appreciate that you said you actually had to take the time to build your own networking community. You have to go out there and network with people, because for some reason people think, you live in this technology age, social media is the answer. You just go online, have a blog, and people will come and flock to your pages. But you and I know it's not like that.
It's
It
not.
still comes down to word of mouth. We're gonna eat something, we're all gonna post, oh my god, look at the crepes, it's awesome at Yolande's Bistro. Everybody needs to pull together. It's a community thing. It's really word of mouth, both online and offline.
Yes.
And a lot of networking, it comes down to building that personal relationship. That's why in all my classes too, I teach high tech, high touch marketing strategies, because yeah, we live in 21st century. We're all about iPads, we're all about tablets, we're all about the phones, but we cannot forget that relationship like you and I have. It's super awesome, thank you so much. All that's important for us, for our business. And I thank you for sharing that tip, because I think many people who have restaurants don't think they need to be out there networking, and that is crucial to the business today. Even though it's 21st century, we live in social media platforms, start engaging. That's all awesome. It's just mass media. You save money, but it really comes down to that community support. What can you do for each other? You do your PR campaigns, you collaborate, you co-work to help each other and engage, drive traffic to each other's website and blogs. So thank you for sharing that human personal touch that we all need to have in our business. Thank you. So, what would you say? What would your advice be to those new rookies who are gung ho about having, starting up a food business or a restaurant or a catering business? What would your advice be to them? Because it's important for them to research all of this before they just dive into it, and then 6 months later realize that they don't want to get up at 4 in the morning because it's too much work. They're not used to doing it, and they can't be called out late to work because somebody didn't come to work and all that stuff. So what advice can you share and give these new rookies?
Run. In all seriousness, think about it long and hard. It's not all glamour. It's long hours. Make sure you understand the numbers that you're putting into a budget. Know that they're not going to be right. Plan for it. Plan for those mistakes. And talk to people who are doing it. Make sure it's what you want to do. I think those are the best pieces of advice that I can give. Really know your neighborhood, know who your market is. It's once you're in it, it's hard to get out of it. So you better know what you're getting into first. You said passion. Have a passion for it.
So thank you for all those tips. You know what? I'm very excited because I know you've got something cooking for me in the kitchen, because we're gonna have me try my hands at what?
Spinning a crepe.
Oh my God! I hope I do it well. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Because I know it's going to be a very, very interesting thing. Because I don't know how well I do in the kitchen, but we'll find out soon.
We'll make it work for you.
Yeah. So folks, let's go. We're gonna head down to the kitchen where I will try my hands at spinning some crepes. We'll see you in the kitchen. I am so excited that we're actually here trying out this nice. What do you call this?
It's a crepe griddle.
Crepe griddle. I don't know how I'll do with this because it's all new to me. So we're going to have the expert show me what to do today. So what we're doing today?
We're making sweet crepes.
Okay.
So all of our crepes are made either on this electric griddle here in the front that I've been dragging around with me for 15 years and never plugged in until I got the restaurant. Or they're made in the back on 2 gas crepe griddles that are the same size. This is a Brittany style crepe griddle.
Okay.
It's got a 15 3/4 inch diameter. And
Brittany?
Bretagne.
Oh, Brittany.
That arm that sticks out into the Atlantic.
Okay.
So I made my first crepe when I was probably 10 or 11 years old. And we did not make it on this griddle.
So who taught you your first crepe?
My father.
Oh,
Papa was a chef, and he taught me how to make crepes and everything else that I know when it comes to cooking.
After that. Okay.
But the first time I made a crepe on this machine was about 4 months ago. I had never spun a crepe. And none of the team had ever spun a crepe.
She's never spun a crepe. Can you imagine me doing this today? Wow. Okay. Yeah. I'm for a roll right here, folks.
It's not terribly difficult. It's all in the wrist.
All in the wrist. Well, I play tennis, so we'll see if this wrist works today.
Fabulous. So here we go. Okay. You pour the sweet batter on.
I just can't wait to eat, really. I mean, I'm just enjoying this and we'll make a fool out of myself, and then we'll see what happens later, right?
And this is the tough part. The spin.
Okay.
And you know what?
If you have somebody dizzy,
maybe. But if you have a little hole, it's no bad a problem. We come back through. We cover it up.
Okay.
Straight around. Nice, thin, even layer. Does it smell good?
Really good.
So why don't you have smell-o-vision with this high-tech, high-touch?
This is awesome smell. It smells like creamy stuff that you just want to go ahead and just put your face in it. Mine it's not ready. I might just burn my face off. So we'll see what comes next.
It's all in the butter, right?
Ooh, yummy.
So when you're checking to make sure it doesn't stick, you want to keep from the side.
Okay. So this have to go fast because otherwise it'll burn, right? Okay.
You want to go at a decent clip, and you want to make sure you don't have any stickage. So
okay,
you just run the blade under there nice and flat. And now the flip. I'm going to ask you to take a half a step back. All right.
Before it covers me, right?
Okay.
She makes it look so easy, right? And we'll see what happens when it comes my turn to do this. I just can't wait.
So the first one we're going to make is our house specialty.
Okay, what's it called?
And it's sucré citron.
Again?
So it's sucré.
Okay, what does that mean?
Citron. It's sugar and lemon.
Okay.
So you saw we did barely a tablespoon, not even a tablespoon of butter there.
Okay.
We're going to do a little bit of white sugar. Again, barely a tablespoon.
Okay.
And we sprinkle.
So it kind of melts down.
It's going to melt in with the sugar and caramelize.
Okay.
See, I didn't even use the whole tablespoon.
Okay. So we just put only half side of it?
Only on half.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
And then the famous lemon squisher. You can do this by hand, but these handy dandy little things are wonderful. And we do so many every day that it's nice.
So why do we put lemon on top of it? Because I know it's liquid, because I'm just wondering, does it actually dissipate, or, does it soften the crepe, or
all of the above,
mm-hmm.
but we put it on there for flavor.
Ha!
This is our lemon crepe.
Awesome.
So we put it on there for flavor.
Okay.
Now we're going to fold it in half.
Yummy.
And then do a little fan.
She makes it look really easy. I'm just afraid I might be wearing this on my head later.
Right onto the plate. Are you ready to taste this?
Oh, awesome. I am. Yummy.
All righty.
The smell, folks. I'm sorry.
And always start from the center.
So why is that? We start in the center.
That's where all the good stuff is.
But all those juice,
all the lemon and
all
sugar,
the sugar, the caramelized sugar. Folks.
All right, let me see how I did. Did I do okay?
Awesome! Oh my God! I just died and went to heaven. Oh my God, this is awesome.
It's light.
Light.
It's delicate.
Mm-hmm.
Many of our other crepes aren't light and delicate.
Mm-hmm.
But this one really just is a perfect way to end your meal.
Now, from a business point of view, right? So we're doing crepes right here. Crepes. If somebody who wants to start a business, this is all, when you put something on a plate like this, right? People think it's awesome. It's, as just milk, sugar, butter. But when you put that on the menu from business marketing point of view, do you actually have to figure out, what's your cost for the butter, for the milk, and all that stuff? How important is that?
Sure, absolutely. Whenever you're doing anything on the menu, you need to cost every item out.
Right.
So from how many crepes come out of a 20 egg batch,
Wow.
so you can figure the individual cost of each crepe,
Mm-hmm.
to the ingredients that fill the crepe,
Mm-hmm.
to the bread and butter that you serve with and don't charge for. So when you're serving your salads and your entrees and whatnot. So all of those things are things you have to keep in mind. You have loss leaders, just like at the grocery store.
Right. Right.
You have items that don't cost you a lot,
Yeah.
and you charge the going rate.
Right.
So you have a 10 or 12 or 15% food cost. Those are not the loss leaders. The loss leaders, I just said that backwards. The loss leaders are the items that everybody wants, and you're going to sell for not quite as much of a profit because they help bring people in.
Right.
So this crepe, the citron sucré, is probably about a 12 to 15% food cost. So we make a little money on that.
Right.
The crepe you're going to make uses an ingredient that just disappeared. Uses an ingredient that is called a chestnut paste or a chestnut cream.
I love chestnut.
Now, see,
Awesome.
I am not a huge fan, but it's a
you're
very
not?
popular item.
The most popular item in the restaurant, and you don't like it.
Well, I wouldn't say most popular, but definitely second or third on the dessert list.
Popular to me.
So absolutely, and
Okay.
you're going to make this one, and the chestnut paste comes in a really small can,
Mm-hmm.
about that big.
So it's paste.
It's a thick paste, and
Okay.
we thin it out so we can work with it on the crepe.
Okay.
And the cost on a little can of that is about $37.
Oh my God.
Much more than the cost of a lemon.
So I know
on that one, we're probably running a 50% cost. But it's important to the menu
50%.
because
Wow.
yeah, but it's important to the menu because it's authentic.
Right.
It's traditional.
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge part of what we're trying to do here in the French culture.
Mm-hmm.
And so we want to run it because, and beyond that, people love it.
Exactly. We got to serve what people like.
Absolutely.
Right? That's why they keep coming back to us. So I know you actually have a little bit of background experience with training and development in the hospitality industry. So maybe you can share with me a little bit a story about probably, the people that you've worked with in this industry, restaurateurs like you who probably does not take too much time thinking about food costing, like how much their cost is. And when they price their menu, they don't think about it. They just think that, I'm going to make 50%. That work, So can you tell me a little bit about that?
Sure. When I opened the restaurant a little over 3 months ago now, not quite 4 months, the things that you plan for, the budgeting that you do in advance before you open your doors. And one of those things is what kind of food cost are you going to run? My first 2 months in operation, the food cost was higher than 50%. And that's okay.
Right.
You've got to get everybody trained. You've got to make sure they understand how to use the product. You're going to burn bacon. You're going to burn bread.
Lots of these too.
You're going to burn a lot of crepes. You're going to waste a lot of crepes.
On this whole eating.
Absolutely. Okay. So getting to the next step in your business is taking that food cost and bringing it down from 50% in month 1 and 2 to 40%. And from 40% down to 35% and 35% down to whatever your goal is. The standard in the restaurant industry is somewhere between 22 and 32% food cost, depending on the type of establishment that you're operating. So when you work that food cost in next to your labor cost, next to your rent, your utilities, the cost of repairing equipment, you have to make sure there's still money left at the end of the day to pay silly things like taxes. And
to just use it for yourself too, for put it back in the business, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So is there a standard duration for this? Is this a 3-month period, or does it differ from one type of food business to the other?
Well, it differs from any industry to industry, and it differs with the type of experience. And
okay.
So you have to figure where your budget is going to be and get closer and closer to that budget as quickly as you can.
That makes sense. I mean, it's very important to do the food costing, folks, especially, in the food industry, because you don't really think about it, the sugar, because you buy them in bulk. You don't think about it, because I know I had some experience with catering too. In my business, I used to, buy them by the bulk, rice, flour, sugar. And sometimes you don't think about food costing to the teaspoon, and you actually have to, right? Am I right?
You absolutely do. We have one of our line cooks who is in love with our chocolate mousse. And we would make a batch of chocolate mousse and it would disappear quickly. And I would look at the statistics and I'd say, we didn't sell that many. What's going on? And finally fessed up. And I said, okay, let's do an exercise. And I had her go through and cost what a batch of chocolate mousse costs to make. And from that, I said, okay, how many servings are we getting every time? And divide that out by what one serving of chocolate mousse costs. Right. Now, she's still addicted. But every time she sneaks the chocolate mousse, she brings me the money and hands me at cost, not at sales, but at cost. She hands me the money so that I couldn't resist.
That's a great tip. I mean, something that you give back. You can't help it sometimes working in such a great kitchen, Hey, you want something from the kitchen? Bring your money, right? Okay.
Absolutely.
So what we're going to do next, I'm going to try to
Are you ready?
I think I am. Let's see how I do with this. All right. For this part of the act, I have to be enhanced higher, elevated in a way, because we short people get extra treatment, special treatment, because if not, I might just be wearing this over my head, folks. So let's go.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, super excited.
Okay, we're gonna spin away. So you're gonna let me pour and let those drips go, and then you're gonna spin. So nice, even.
Spin. We'll see. Okay.
Sometimes it tears. It's okay if that happens. We can fix it.
So what's in the mix here?
The mix is egg. Let me start over. It's egg, sugar, milk, water, flour, a touch of salt.
A touch of salt. Okay.
And we make two batters here at the restaurant. We make a savory batter and a sweet. And our sweet batter is made with all-purpose flour. And our savory batter is a naturally gluten-free. You're good there. You're all done. Yay! Not bad.
Not bad, right?
Not bad at all.
We go on to this
in a second.
Okay.
Give it just a second.
Okay.
The savory batter is naturally gluten-free, made with buckwheat and oat flours.
Gluten-free. I like gluten-free.
All right, now you can start on that corner.
So this is the hard part, because I don't want to be wearing this on my head or on her head.
And you don't want to burn yourself either.
Yes, absolutely.
Perfect. Nice and flat all the way under. Doesn't look like
we don't want this to stick, right? So we want to try to get everything through.
Well, you don't want it to stick when you're trying to flip.
Okay.
So you want to make sure everything's loose. You're loose. So
Did
you're
you
ready
see this,
to do
folks?
the flip.
I'm using two hands. The expert did one. So
I don't know. I use two a lot too.
Oh, okay.
So it all depends on what angle works best. You're free, so you're ready to flip.
All right. So flip halfway through here. And
almost
either way.
A little to the right. There you go.
Way?
Right, perfect. Right there. Up and over.
Up and over. Yeah, I didn't wear it on my head. I'm happy.
You're all good. Now you're going to make the other specialty crepe, which we were just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to do this part for you.
Okay.
So we're just going to put a little bit of dark chocolate in the middle.
Okay.
And too much is too much. It's not more of a good thing. It's just, whoa, rich.
Yep.
So we did,
because the batter is already rich, and now we're going to be super rich. Okay. And this is the best part, chestnut.
This is the chestnut cream. And we're just going to dollop it.
Okay.
Now, when you fold this one's different from the last one.
Mm-hmm.
There's enough of that ooey gooey chestnut on there. When you fold it, you're going to fold
this way.
You're going to make a square. So you're just going to fold right over the edge there.
Okay.
All four sides.
Okay. One.
Yep, that's enough. There you go.
This way.
Yep, just like that.
Yeah. That way. Who knew Zest could cook, right? So this is the scraps, people. And this way, right?
All good.
Okay, so
now hang on, because I'm going to help you with this, because this is where it gets tricky. It's taking this one off.
Okay.
So I'm going to take it off for you.
Because I really don't want her to be wearing this, folks. It's
and
really
you don't
hot.
want to either.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to let you do this part. This crepe is called a Mont Blanc crepe.
Mont Blanc.
Mont Blanc.
Okay.
The tallest mountain in the world, the Mont Blanc, right?
Okay.
Okay.
What is this?
So
cream.
This is chantilly or whipped cream. So you're going to take two nice big mounds and make it look like a mountain right there, right on top.
Just put it over.
Put her right on the top.
One.
Okay, that looks like a really baby mountain. So keep going.
Keep on going. Can I just stack them?
Absolutely.
There you go.
Now that looks like a mountain. That's good.
We're going to make it like a mountain. There you go.
So, you ready to taste this one? You like chestnuts?
Absolutely. Now I need more. Yep. Sorry, you just gotta come over to Yolande's and try this.
A little chocolate, a little chestnut,
A
a
little
little whipped cream.
chocolate, a little whipped cream, and open your mouth, folks. Blow on it first. Mm.
Now, this one's not light. This one's not delicate. This one's
really
rich.
Awesome.
And sweet.
I feel like after having this, I really have to run in front of the street there back and forth for about an hour until I burn all this that I just ate. It's super duper awesome.
Well, then keep eating.
Super duper awesome. So, is this one of the favorites in the menu?
It's one of the favorites on the dessert menu.
So, I'm thinking maybe you'd like to share with our audience your recipe for the batter. Is that something that you would
Absolutely
get to share? So what we'll do, folks, if you would actually fill out click on the link in the form in our blog right here, and we will send out that recipe card to you, and we'll send you the ingredients for this famous Yolande's batter for her crepe. So come down to Yolande's Bistro on Orange Street in New Haven, 99 Orange Street, New Haven, Yolande's Bistro and Creperie, and try this Mont Blanc.
Well
right?
done.
Woohoo! Thank you, folks. And is there anything you would like to share with our audience?
Regarding the recipe regarding the recipe that you will get, I will caution you one thing about making a crepe at home. You obviously don't have the crepe griddle.
That's a good tip.
You can first thing is refrigerate your batter overnight. Always. It'll always make a better crepe.
Why is that?
You need to let the flour absorb all the liquids in the egg.
Okay.
It'll give you a smoother crepe. You won't ruin as many. We always make our batter the night before for the next day.
Okay.
And second, a plain old Teflon pan will work. In the restaurant world, we use these aluminum ones, but the Teflon will work. And you can use either size, whatever size you have, you can use. And it's still in the wrist, but instead of this way, you're swirling it this way.
Now, if you put on a Teflon plated pan like this, do you have to put anything on it to kind of like not make it stick? Because I know sometimes it can.
It's always the best practice to take a tiny little bit of vegetable oil on a paper towel and rub the pan for the first one only. Okay. Once you've made your first one, you're good to go.
Awesome. Well, thank you for the tip, and we are looking forward to seeing you guys here at Yolande's Bistro and Creperie, 99 Orange Street, New Haven, Connecticut. Until then, we will see you at the next episode. Bye, everybody. Thank you for watching Zest TV, the show that brings you a dash of passion to the perfect blend of ingredients to your success in business and in life. See you later. Bye.
Au revoir.